Hello students, today I am going to talk on beta oxidation of fatty acids. Beta oxidation is the process where energy is produced by degradation of fatty acids. It is oxidized by most tissues, but brain erythrocytes and adrenal medulla cannot utilize fatty acid for energy requirement. Fatty acid oxidation occurs in the mitochondria. There are several types of oxidation. They are beta oxidation. Beta oxidation is the major pathway of fatty acid oxidation for energy. Here, oxidation and splitting occurs at beta carbon. Beta carbon means which is between second and the third carbon. While alpha oxidation is important for catabolism of branch chain fatty acid, and here there is sequential removal of one carbon at a time. While omega oxidation, here the oxidation of omega carbon atoms of fatty acids occur. These are the several different types of oxidation. So first let's see what do you mean by alpha, beta, omega. Here, if you see, this is a fatty acid chain. Here, this is the carboxylic end and this is the methyl end. The carboxylic carbon is numbered as 1, followed by 2, 3, 4, and so on. This second carbon next to the functional group, that is a carboxylic group, is the alpha carbon. This is the beta. And here at the methyl end, this is known as omega. So this will become omega 1 carbon. This is omega 2, omega 3, and so on. Beta oxidation involves 3 stages: activation of fatty acids, transport of fatty acid into mitochondria, and the beta oxidation proper. We can consider these two as the prerequisite for beta oxidation also. First, let us see the activation of fatty acid. This occurs in the cytosol. The fatty acid, it is converted to acyl-CoA. In presence of acyl-CoA synthase, it is also known as thiokinase. ATP is used and it is converted into and it forms AMP. And here if you see coenzyme A is required, and this fatty acid will form fatty acyl-CoA, which is the activated form of fatty acid. Here ATP is converted into AMP. That means 2 phosphate are used, 2 high energy phosphate are utilized, which is equivalent to 2 ATP. So for the activation of fatty acids, 2 ATPs are required. The next is the transport of acyl-CoA into mitochondria, because the oxidation occurs in the mitochondria, and the enzyme, the whole enzyme machinery of oxidation is inside the mitochondria. The inner mitochondrial membrane is permeable to short chain fatty acid, but it is impermeable to long chain fatty acid. So the long chain fatty acid has to be transported with into the mitochondria. That carrier transporter is known as carnitine transport system. Here what happens is, now let's see this. Here this is the inner mitochondrial membrane, this is the cytosol, and this is the inside of the mitochondrial, this is the mitochondrial matrix. Now we want to transport the active fatty acid, that is in the form of acyl-CoA. So acyl-CoA with carnitine forms acyl-carnitine, and CoA is released. this acyl-CoA is forms acyl carnitine with the help of enzyme carnitine acyl transferase 1, and this acyl carnitine is then transported with the help of acyl carnitine translocate into the mitochondrial matrix, where this acyl carnitine will form acyl, split into acyl CoA and carnitine by the help of another enzyme, that is carnitine acyl transferase 2, which is inside the mitochondrial matrix. Now if you see here, there is a coenzyme is required to form the acyl CoA. This is what we require. If you see here, the acyl CoA, this acyl CoA has to be transported inside the mitochondria. But the coenzyme in the cytosol and the mitochondrial matrix is different. Okay, so ultimately this fatty acid is transported inside the mitochondria. Then what happens is this carnitine is then again translocated outside into the cytosol, and where again it will transport the acyl CoA into the mitochondrial matrix. Now this acyl CoA is then required, then further goes for the beta oxidation. Now coming to the beta oxidation steps, there are a series of events occur sequentially to complete the oxidation of fatty acids. And in one cycle, that is one cycle of beta oxidation, there are 4 steps, but that is oxidation, hydration, again oxidation, and then cleavage. This is one cycle. So now we will see the beta oxidation reactions. Here I am explaining you with the example of palmitic acid. Palmitic acid is a 16 carbon. So here this, after the activation, it will become palmityl CoA. Okay. So the first step is the oxidation. Here palmityl CoA, or you can say the acyl CoA, it undergoes dehydrogenation in presence of acyl CoA dehydrogenase. Here enzyme required is FAD, and it will here a double bond is added, is introduced between the alpha and beta. Can you see here? So what happens here is with the help of the dehydrogenase, 2 hydrogens atoms from alpha and beta are removed and to form FADH2, and here the palmityl CoA becomes trans delta 2 enol CoA, or you can also call it as alpha beta unsaturated acyl CoA. Then the next step is hydration. Hydration means addition of water. Here this reaction is catalyzed by enol. Here this is the enol CoA, so it is hydration, so it will become enol CoA hydratase. Okay, so here in this double bond, one water molecule is added. So H and OH. Can you see on these two this double bond, it is broken, and here a water molecule is added. So it will become beta hydro. This is alpha, this is beta. It will become beta hydroxy acyl CoA. Then again there is a dehydrogenase here enzyme beta hydroxy acyl CoA, the same dehydrogenase. Here coenzyme NAD is used. Here it was FAD. Okay. So this FADH2, and here this again, here also 2 hydrogens will be removed, and it will NAD will become and forms NADH. And here these two, that is FADH2 and NADH, they will enter the electron transport chain to form ATP. Here FADH2 will give 1.5 and NADH will give 2.5 ATP. Okay, so further moving, it will here again 2 hydrogens will be removed from beta hydroxy acyl CoA from the third carbon, from that is from this carbon, the beta carbon. So it will form beta keto. 2 hydrogens were removed. So it will form beta keto acyl CoA. Then further the enzyme thiolase, or it is also known as acyl CoA acetyl transferase, this here it will split, that is a cleavage will occur with the help of thiolase. And here can you see the acetyl CoA, this is acetyl CoA, it will form acetyl CoA. This, the cleavage will occur at this place, that is all between the alpha and beta carbon. Here split, it will split and it will form acetyl CoA, and the remaining will form acyl CoA. But the remaining will have 2 carbon less because it has split a acetyl CoA molecule. So the remaining acyl CoA will have the 2 carbon less because this was previously palmitic acid. So now because acetyl CoA is removed, now it will become C14 acyl CoA because it is having 2 carbon less. Now further what happens is this acyl CoA, the remaining will again sequentially go through the 1 to 4 steps which I already talked, and it will go on splitting 2 carbon in the form of acetyl CoA until this palmityl CoA is completely degraded to acetyl CoA. Okay, so this palmityl, the palmityl CoA will come, then finally forms, is completely degraded to acetyl CoA. So as I said, as I gave the example, as I was trying to explain you with the palmityl CoA, palmitic acid, which is a 16 carbon fatty acid. Okay, so 16 carbon. So each time this is one cycle. So each time it removes 2 carbon acetyl CoA. So if you divide 16 by 2, it becomes 8. So it is producing 8 acetyl CoA. Can you see this is 7 and this is the 8th one. So at the end of, that is the last cycle, there will be 4 carbon. So it will split into 2 acetyl CoA. So if you see the number of cycles, it will not be 8, it will be 7. This 7, that is 14 carbon, and 2 carbon, 16 carbon. So if it is carbon 16, which I am with the example I have given, like palmitic acid, which is carbon 16. So there will be 7 cycles. So 7 acetyl CoA, and the last product will be acetyl CoA. So there will be 8 acetyl CoA. So which is equivalent, which is 16 carbon. Okay. 2, 2, 2, 2 into 8, so 16 carbon. Okay, so now let's see how much energy is produced by one get from one palmitic acid, degradation of palmitic acid, that is a beta oxidation of palmitic acid. These as I said, one cycle will use one FAD and one NAD. So 7 cycle will use 7 FAD and it will form 7 FADH2. And as I said, 1 FADH2 enters the electron transport chain and it produces 1.5 ATP. So 7 cycles, so 10.5 ATP. And 7 NADH were used for 7 cycle. So 1 NADH produces 2.5 ATPs. So 2.5 into 7, so it will form 17.5 ATP. Now these 8 acetyl CoA, they will enter they will enter the TCA cycle, and in the TCA, that is a Krebs cycle, one acetyl-CoA produces 10 ATP. So 8 acetyl-CoA will produce 80 ATPs. So if we count all these together, it will become 108 ATPs. Now, if you remember, the first step was the activation of fatty acid, where 2 ATPs were used. So 108 minus 2 ATP. So total 106 ATPs are produced by oxidation of palmitic acid. So 7 cycle, 8 acetyl-CoA, 7 FADH2, 7 NADH. Ultimately, 106 ATPs are formed by the complete beta oxidation of palmitic acid. You can also show it in this form. Okay, if you don't want to show it in the diagrammatic view form, you can show it in this form also. Okay. One thing I have to explain, that I gave you an example of a 16 carbon. Suppose it is of a 14 carbon. So there will be how many cycles? There will be 6 cycles. 6 cycles. So 6 FADH2, 6 NADH2 and 7 acetyl-CoA. The last cycle will produce 2 acetyl-CoA. So there will be 7 acetyl-CoA if the carbon is 14. Now, if it is 12, then even one more less. Okay, it will be 5. Followed? And if it is 18, then 8 cycles. So that way you will be counting the energetics depending upon the number of carbon atom that fatty acid has. So if in the exam, if the short note is asked, find the beta oxidation or do the beta oxidation of 16 carbon or 18 carbon or 14 carbon. So depending upon the number of carbon, you have to calculate the energetics, that is how much ATP is produced. Okay. Regulation of beta oxidation depends upon 2 things. One, the availability of free fatty acids, which regulates the net utilization through beta oxidation, and availability of free fatty acid depends upon insulin-glucagon ratio. If insulin decreases free fatty acid, while glucagon increases free fatty acid. And the another is the mitochondrial uptake of fatty acid. For mitochondrial uptake of fatty acid, it depends upon on 2 things. It requires 2 things. One is the carnitine, another is the carnitine acyl transferase enzyme. And CAT1 is regulated by malonyl-CoA. Malonyl-CoA is the metabolite of the fatty acid synthesis. So malonyl-CoA inhibits CAT1, and so beta oxidation stops. And from this we can say that when fatty acid synthesis occurs, beta oxidation stops. So this is a reciprocal pathway. Coming to the disorders of beta oxidation, it depends upon one is the deficiency of carnitine. If there is deficiency of carnitine, carnitine deficiency can occur in preterm babies. It can occur in early childhood due to defect in or decrease in the synthesis of carnitine, or it can also be because of renal leakage of carnitine. All these will lead to episodes of hypoglycemia, muscle weakness, brain dysfunction, cardiomyopathy, confusion, vomiting. Even deficiency of translocase protein can also lead to a disorder of beta oxidation. Then even because of the deficiency of CAT1 and 2, it will lead to hypoglycemia with reduced beta oxidation of fatty acid. Sudden infant death syndrome. This is due to block in the beta oxidation. This is seen usually in children younger than 1 year of age. And here it is associated with the deficiency of medium chain acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. Then there is Jamaican vomiting sickness. Here, because of consuming unripe fruit of ackee tree, this fruit contains a toxin amino acid, hypoglycine A, which inactivates medium and short chain acyl-CoA dehydrogenase, and that leads to block in the beta oxidation of fatty acid. Now all these disorders of beta oxidation is because the mitochondrial fatty acid oxidation is the major pathway for energy production during fasting and strenuous exercise. And so if there is an impairment in the mitochondrial fatty acid oxidation, this will lead to severe hypoglycemia. Okay, so this was about the beta oxidation. What I just explained to you is the beta oxidation of the even chain fatty acid, and I explained to you by giving an example of palmitic acid. This is the part 1. I will be explaining further the other oxidations of fatty acid in part 2. Thank you so much. And those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that you can get my latest updates. Okay.